we've seen an uptick in anti-Semitism, this conflation, if you like, of anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian with anti-Semitism. And I would just appeal to people who are, quite naturally pro-Palestinian cause to be very aware in themselves as to whether they have conflated these things, because it's very easy to slip into it without realizing it. And, people have to guard against it, because anti-Semitism is a very insidious, very dangerous form of racism that exists throughout the world.
Next, 4 men have been arrested on suspicion of spying on behalf of Iran, involving locations and individuals linked to the Jewish community. The Metropolitan Police say the suspects include 1 Iranian and 3 dual British nationals. Searches are ongoing at addresses in Barnet and Watford connected to the individuals. Speaking on the arrest, the head of counter-terrorism policing London, Commander Helen Flanagan, has said that they were part of a long-running investigation to disrupt what she called malign activity where it's suspected. Let's talk about the wider threat posed to the UK by hostile foreign states, including Iran. And I'm grateful to be joined by Dr. Patricia Lewis, who's Director of the International Security Programme at Chatham House. Thank you very much for joining us. Do you know any more about this particular case, or the general propensity of Iran to, spy on British communities, and in particular the very troubling idea that they're targeting the Jewish community?
Thanks, Guto. First of all, I should correct you. I'm no longer at Chatham House, so I'm an independent researcher, just to say.
Yes. I thought we'd met there, actually, but carry on.
Yeah. So I think that obviously there are many threats in terms of spying in the UK and other parts of Europe and in the United States. And indeed, I don't know if you saw, but in Brooklyn just a few days ago, there's a man called Asif Merchant, who's Pakistani, who's accused of spying and plotting to kill US politicians for Iran. So we're not the only country where this is going on. I think that there's there have been also other arrests recently. There was an arrest last year with Iranian men being arrested on plotting attacks in the UK, but they were, I don't think it's been followed through. I don't know if it was a wrongful arrest or whether they're waiting for more information or whether there's any overlap with these people who've just been arrested. That will be very interesting to find out. So yes, I think one of the problems that we have is that there's an increased polarization in the world. There are people who will believe that in spying for Iran, that they're spying for something good, or maybe it could be, as in fact Asif Merchant has stated, that they might be holding their own families under threat and they're being forced to spy or forced to plot. There's also a link, I think, to the so-called globalization of the Intifada, in which people who are supporting the Palestinian cause, probably benignly, but some of them might be malignly deciding that this means they can attack Jewish communities. And there is this horrible, insidious conflation of being anti-Israel and anti-Israeli government policies with anti-Semitism, and that we've seen that on the rise quite dramatically in the UK and throughout the world.
And Helen Flanagan of the Met has urged the Jewish community to remain vigilant. I mean, they've had to be vigilant for the last few years, but so how much more alarming is it, the idea that there are very, very powerfully motivated, disgruntled Iranian people in the UK who may be targeting them, bearing in mind the track record of, the Iranian regime to cause carnage around the world?
Well, obviously, it's very disconcerting, very worrying. I think it will, unfortunately, come as little surprise to the Jewish community in the UK. I think they've been warning the general public, the government, the police, for a long time now, and the intelligence services, of this increased threat. We've seen an uptick in anti-Semitism, this conflation, if you like, of anti-Israeli, pro-Palestinian with anti-Semitism. And I would just appeal to people who are, quite naturally pro-Palestinian cause to be very aware in themselves as to whether they have conflated these things, because it's very easy to slip into it without realizing it. And people have to guard against it, because anti-Semitism is a very insidious, very dangerous form of racism that exists throughout the world. And once you start conflating those things, it's very easy to conflate lots of other things as well. And so the whole thing becomes increasingly polarized. People can become increasingly deaf to nuance, to debate, to there being no one being wholly 100% right, no one being wholly 100% wrong in any of these conflicts. So I think that this is a big problem for the intelligence services and for the police, and they're obviously on it. But you can't catch every single person who might be plotting, and it's very hard to find the so-called lone wolf, or what I like to call stray dogs, terrorists who might be acting completely on their own, driven by voices in their head or by some connection on the internet.
That's a very graphic suggestion at the end. Thank you very much, Dr. Patricia Lewis.